Hello, welcome to my channel Conscious Growing. I'm Matthias. So, a while ago I decided to stop making videos in English on this channel, but because of some of the feedbacks I decided to feel free and just do some English videos, short ones, once in a while, and today is one of those. And I just want to share a very short message with you, something that I observed on my recovery path. And here it is. So, what usually happens is when we have lots of anxiety, lots of symptoms, pains, all these weird emotions, all these, crazy state of minds at times. And when we have those days, we easily get involved in these unhealthy patterns. And get me right, it's very challenging on these days. So the subconscious is kind of acting crazy, or it feels like crazy, producing these crazy thoughts, producing these symptoms to protect us, and it can feel very severe. And what usually happens is when we have these days, some will call it setbacks or flare-ups, however you want to call it, and I find it really important to be very careful on how you react on these days. And what I mean is, usually we pull back, usually we are scared again, and then we stay indoors. We are less active maybe, and this being less active usually ends up with hanging around, um, ruminating, sitting on the couch, sitting on the bed, have this negative self-talk. Why is it happening again? Why this setback? I was doing so well the last couple of days, or at least yesterday, and then now all of a sudden I end up here again. And we easily get caught up here. And what I want to share is, of course, it doesn't mean that we have to push through and it wouldn't work, like I'm gonna show my symptoms, who's the stronger one. It's not about fighting, it's really not about this, but it is about making choices. And what helped me most was when I had these difficult days, I'm gonna move from one moment to the other. And I make plans from one moment to the other. And it can start in the morning. So what is the next step? This could be the question. So the next step could be, I'm just getting up, going for a pee, brush my teeth, having a shower, having a sip of water. These kind of activities, they are a decision. And then when you're finished with that, you can ask yourself, what can I do else? And then the next thing might be, I go for a little walk. And then you see, okay, then you check in and you see, okay, I don't want to rush through my day. I don't want to run away from the symptoms. I let them be there. I notice them anyway, and I let them be there, but I make further choices. And with further choices, I don't mean this big task in life. I highly recommend not to make big decisions on these difficult days, but really constantly see what you are able to do. And this can bring momentum. And the momentum is like you started with these tiny little tasks as described. And then maybe you feel like, oh, I really feel I like to go to the mall and gonna buy me some new clothes or whatever. And then you do it. And you decide to do it. And then you're just doing this very one thing. You don't ruminate about your future. You just take your symptoms with you. You allow them to be there, but you make the choice to go to the mall in this case. And it can be various many other choices. But what I wanted to point out here is, especially on these difficult days, it's really important to have some empowerment, because it's quite likely, and this is the stuff from the past, these are the old reaction patterns, these are the subconscious traits we have been on for so long. And when we are able to make these little steps, and then in between the voice of doubt might come in, and it might say, we can't do this, or this is too much, and will this never get better? And you will have these voices. So allow them to be there, let them be there, but you make these little choices. And yes, on these days, sometimes it's also good at times to rest and to slow down a little bit. But this is not in contradiction what I'm sharing here. It's just like keep going in a slow and steady pace. Because the retraining of your brain happens on these difficult days. Because, let's say, when you have a moderate time or a moderate day or moderate moments, and you're going out and doing some kind of stuff, sitting in a restaurant, whatever it is, meeting some friends, whatever it might be, it's easy on these days, or easier at least. But I wouldn't say that you don't learn on these days, but the best progress you can make on these difficult days when it seems to be impossible. And again, I don't mean physically pushing through it. You are aware of these unpleasant states. The chatter of your subconscious can be really loud at times, but nevertheless, you take the chatter with you, you allow it to be there, and you do these things you want to do. Slowly, you can slow everything a little bit down, your movements, and also your talk. When you talk to yourself or when you talk to others, you can slow it down. And so the point is, when we practice this on the really difficult days, and when we are able not to end up in these deep rabbit holes with our own thinking mind, then this is a success. And it might feel shitty, I can tell you, And it might happen that it doesn't get better the whole day, and maybe even for days or even weeks. This can happen. But this is not a sign of um, regression. It's always part of the journey. And as we know, the better we respond, the better it is. And so the brain training is most efficient when we are able to do things no matter what, even if we feel unpleasant. There we show our subconscious, there we show our limbic brain, look, I can do these things despite these unpleasant sensations. I am able to do it. And so what happens, sometimes you feel the benefit a few days later, and when you have gone through such a period, then you recognize, oh my gosh, that was really difficult to go through this, and it was not a fun at all, but somehow I feel more resilience again. I processed something. I'm stronger. I came stronger out on the other side. And this might not be the last step on your recovery, but all these setbacks and all your behaviors are the key to recovery. And in this, as much as self-compassion as you can give to yourself. Always consider this is not an easy journey, so don't put more weight on it than necessary, and go through it as good as you can. And I would not even use the word challenge. It's not about challenge. We don't recover when we challenge ourselves. These are just old ideas, you know, because maybe life worked that way. We challenged ourselves, we wanted to be strong, and we went through it, and all these kind of false ideas. Now we want to learn to be more brave on one hand, do what we like to do, but we do it for our own sake. This is the most important thing. We don't do these things for anybody else than us. And that's all. And it's always good to remember this, because we have this capacity in us. So it means we went this path for some it's a few weeks, a few months, and for some even years. But you survived each and every day. And now it's not only about survival anymore. You want to start your using your wings to fly, to take such an image. And it's not only come through the days, you want to empower yourself. And as I said, the most efficient process happens on these difficult days. So when you have these days where your brain wants to sell you, we have to stay in bed, we have to stay inside, we can't do anything, we are a victim of these circumstances, then this voice is very loud. Do the opposite. Slowly, but with some, yeah, some, not even willpower. It's a decision. You make decisions. That's a difference. All right, so I hope this makes some sense for you, and like always, I'm glad to have some feedbacks from you guys. And so still there's a possibility to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, ask any kind of questions, I will answer them. And Also, I want to ask you for some support for my new channel. So even if you're just using English, if you just speak English and no German, nevertheless, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my new channel as well. So the new channel is in the description, and just subscribe, just leave a thumb up every now and then, just to support me even with my German channel and the German content. That would be really helpful, and you can even share it with some friends, and even if they just do it um, to um, to do me a favor and to spread the word and supporting people to understand why they are in these states and how to get out of it. And I think this is really important, and especially in the German um, the German content on YouTube or in general, there's not much knowledge about this. So I really find it important to spread these informations, because I don't want people to be frustrated running from one doctor to the other and not having any idea that there is help out there, there are possibilities out there, that there are possibilities to work on yourself in a specific way to recover from all kind of illnesses, especially chronic symptoms and anxiety. So yeah, thank you for your support, and I wish you the very best, and we talk soon. Bye for now.